did you hear my, I didn't hear you respond to my question.
Sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat? I think I got audio lost on this end.
Okay, do you swear to translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Theodore Leal, certified court interpreter.
Okay, thank you. And then you're going in, the defendant is with me in BRC 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, just make sure that he can hear you before I begin.
Just a moment, Your Honor. It's just taking a little longer than usual to connect.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Defendant is responding that he can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell me your name, please.
Alberto Ariosa. Ariosa.
Alberto Ariosa.
Okay, I had Luis Gonzalez first. Is that not?
This is
Oh,
what's on his ID, Your Honor.
okay. Do you go by Luis Gonzalez, sir?
No, me llamo Alberto Ariosa y no sé el nombre ese. El nombre mío es Alberto Ariosa.
My name is Alberto Ariosa.
He's booked in as Luis Gonzalez, Your Honor.
Has he been fingerprinted?
El nombre ese es Luis González.
Because I have 41 misdemeanors for Luis Gonzalez, so I just want to make sure that this is the right person.
His prints clear?
Yeah, his marks are clear.
Be clear, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I don't have his name as being that, so, I have a Luis Gonzalez having been charged in 2020 MO 869 for, an open container violation. I do find probable cause. Did you want to resolve your case today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
For Mr. Luis Gonzalez, it's an open container, credit time served, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I have Mr. Gonzalez. If you are contesting that this is not you, I'm not sure, but if you want to accept the state's offer of credit for time served, I would give you a year to pay your court costs, sir. Did you want to do that?
No, pero el delito mío es por una cerveza que me cogieron tomando. Por una
My,
No.
my offense was that they caught me drinking beer out there
Correct.
on the road.
Correct. So did you want to accept the state's offer of credit for time served?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you read the plea form, sir?
No, los tres tomando un refresco.
No, I was drinking some soda.
Okay. Sir, my question was, did you read the plea form?
No inglés.
All right, I'm not comfortable
No,
taking
no.
a plea today on the gentleman that I have before me, who says his name is not Luis Gonzalez. So, I'm not gonna hold him on a bond on this charge. I'm gonna release him on his own recognizance. He's to get in touch with the public defender's office within 24 hours of his release.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Sir, you're gonna have to show up to court. If you don't show up to court, you could get a warrant for your arrest. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Ismael Tirado. Ismael Tirado.
Ismael Tirado.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 MO 871. You're arrested for possession or consumption of alcohol in a prohibited place. And I do find probable cause. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
It's the same offer, Your Honor.
Okay. So it would be a credit for time served offer, Mr. Torado. Did you want to accept that offer? I'll give you a year to pay your court costs off.
Sí.
Yes.
Did you read the plea form?
Sí, pero no pude entender.
Yes, but I couldn't understand it.
What do you not understand?
No, pues sí. Yo tomé y yo soy culpable.
I was drinking and I'm guilty.
Okay. What part of the plea form do you not understand?
Yo casi no entiendo mucho.
I just don't understand much.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Mr. Matos, do you want to go over that with him? Because otherwise I'm not taking a plea today.
Understand. Señor.
Your Honor, I just explained to him the plea form, and he would like to take the plea.
Okay.
He just didn't know how to read.
So, Mr. Torado, did you have any questions about what Mr. Matos explained to you about what is on the plea form?
No estoy bien. No.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, and you understand what Mr. Matos explained to you? Is that correct?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I do have to advise you that you have reporting requirements. You may have to report to the Orange County Sheriff's Office or the Department of Motor Vehicles. Okay, so just make sure you comply with those reporting requirements, sir.
Okay.
Good luck. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Víctor Noel González.
Victor Noel Gonzalez.
Milton? Okay. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, you're here in 2020 CF 10318AO. You're arrested for burglary of a conveyance and burglary of a structure. I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact, directly or indirectly, with any victim or any witness in the case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and you may not return back to 1908 Monte Carlo Trail. Your bond is stayed at 3,500 and 150. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, or good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Buenos días, José Manuel González Valero.
Good morning, José Manuel González Valera.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez Valera, you're here in 2020 CF 9068AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer. And I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any witness in the case. Your bond is set at $3,500. Thank you, sir. We'll do the Vietnamese at the end.
Okay.
I'll just hold on to it, just
Okay.
remind me. We're gonna do, Mr. Nguyen at the very end, okay? I don't wanna keep everybody waiting. Good, morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Alexander Vega Alonso. Alexander Vega Alonso.
Alexandre Vega Alonso.
All right, so you're here in 2020 CF 102818AO. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any victim or witness. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond is set at $5,000. You're also out on release in 2020 MM 4148AO. I am revoking the bond, or release, excuse me, and setting that at none. You do have an attorney in the case. They'll have to file a motion for you, so you'll need to call that attorney. Thank you, sir. All right, and then, Mr. Interpreter, if you could just make an announcement in the gallery if anybody needs the interpreter, the Spanish interpreter, to raise their right hand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
At the court request, the interpreter will make a brief announcement in Spanish. Alguno de los presentes que necesite intérprete de español, levante la mano.
All right, I can't, Mr. Miller, do you see it? If there's people over on the other side, I can't see them, so I don't know if anybody's raising their hands.
No, Your Honor.
Nope, okay, I don't see, and I've been told no hands are raised, so thank you, Mr. Interpreter, I appreciate your help.
Judge.
You're very welcome,
Yeah?
Your Honor.
I'm
He had
sorry?
two cases. Did you do two cases? He had two cases.
Yeah.
Vega Gonzalo Alexander, he had two cases.
I didn't have another case, did I?
Yeah. You have a second one here.
Should have been. Maybe Denise didn't.
Well, she gives me everything she has, so,
Where the money got
yeah.
attached. for
All right,
some
we'll,
reason. I
we'll,
don't
we'll
know.
call it back at the end. I'm not gonna keep everybody waiting.
Okay.
I revoked his release anyway, so it's not an issue.
Okay.
All right. Is this Amanda Shaw?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, and are you filing a notice of appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Harold Thompson. I will be representing Ms. Amanda Shaw.
All right, Mr. Thompson. All right, Ms. Shaw, can you just state your name for the record, please?
Amanda Shaw.
All right, you're here in 2020 CF 9474. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was previously found for exploitation of an elderly person and scheme to defraud over $50,000. And probable cause was previously found. And so the conditions of release as set in the warrant are that you're to surrender any passport to the clerk prior to release. Do you have or own a passport?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Thompson, you're gonna have to get that passport.
Yes, sir, I have it. I actually-
Okay, and surrender that to the clerk's office prior to her being released on any bonds. You'll have no contact directly or indirectly with any of the witnesses or the victim as alleged in the affidavit, okay? You're not to directly or indirectly sell, transfer, destroy, conceal, or otherwise liquidate any of the victim's real property in the state of Florida, assets, funds, or any property or assets obtained using the victim's funds, okay?
And now you heard with regards to probable cause, I understand that the warrant.
Probable cause has been found. I can't readdress that, but I can take any arguments that you have into consideration in modifying any bond.
That's exactly what I would like to
Okay.
consider.
I can't really hear you, Mr. Thompson, but you gotta keep the mask on. You cannot take it off. You just gotta speak, pull the microphone closer or talk louder.
No problem, Your Honor. I'll speak up. Can you hear me now? Your Honor, I would ask if you would consider allowing my client to be released on pre-trial release if possible. Reason being, I know that a probable cause finding has been filed on the warrant, but I would like to attend it to the court and ask the court to take judicial notice of the fact that my client had exercised a durable power of attorney that was filed in the clerk of court of Volusia County, and it's no record that that actual durable power of attorney has been declared void, adjudicated void, or fraudulent. And as such, Your Honor, I would ask the court to take that into consideration in regards to the underlying charges, that essentially the facts in support of the probable cause finding are insufficient. Also, Your Honor, the material relevant facts in this case tend to show that the material elements of this offense alleged would have occurred in Volusia County and not Orange County. So there's also an issue of whether proper jurisdiction should even be exercised in Orange County in regards to this case, Your Honor. The material relevant facts of this case all reside in Volusia County. And so based on that, Your Honor, I ask if you would consider reducing the bond further so my client will have opportunity to bond out. They're struggling with that task as it stands currently, Your Honor. She has no prior criminal history. She will assure that she will appear at all future court dates. I'm pretty sure she would qualify for pretrial release if she was afforded that opportunity. We just ask you to consider reducing the bond so we can litigate some of these other outstanding issues, and I'll file the proper motions to do so, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't know if it's my guess is it's multi-jurisdictional. And I've read the affidavit. The evidence is overwhelming, Mr. Thompson. And the first thing that you mentioned was that she has durable power of attorney when in fact it's alleged that she falsely signed a power of attorney for the victim. So I mean, I'm not gonna litigate the case today, obviously that's not, but I have to take the facts as alleged as true. And I've read the 24-page affidavit. And it looks as though these things have occurred not only just in Florida, but in the state of New York as well and other jurisdictions. So if you have a jurisdictional issue, that's something that you can obviously raise at any point. But it looks as though some of these things, it may be a statewide case. It maybe end up with the Attorney General's office is what I'm saying.
I would imagine so. I was
Right.
assuming that would be the situation,
Right.
but yes, Your Honor.
She has not been interviewed for pretrial release. I'm not going to order her into pretrial release. I can't. They haven't interviewed her, and they're not interviewing people on the warrants. So I am going to stay the bond as set in the warrant based on the amount of that has been alleged to have been defrauded. I understand she doesn't have a criminal history, but I don't think a $10,000 bond and a $100 bond on count two. 1,000. I'll reduce count two to 150. I don't think that makes one bit of difference. But I don't believe the $10,000 bond based on the charges and the amount of money that has been alleged to have been taken is inappropriate. So I'm going to stay that.
Consideration, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
so much.
so, make sure you comply with those orders, keep in touch with Mr. Thompson. I'm sure he will look into any other issues that may be going on with the case, okay?
Would you like me to turn in the passport? to the-
It will have to be to the clerk. I can't take possession of that, okay? All right.
That's it for me, I'll be excused. I'll be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
Good to see you, Your Honor.
No, you as well.
Judge, do we still have the Spanish interpreter on the line?
We do not, and I didn't have a second case, so I don't
It wasn't
know.
in second session. I printed out from the clerk's.
Okay, so we did not have a copy of it, okay. So I have to read it, and we'll probably, I'm gonna have to read it at the end. So we'll do that right before we call the other interpreter. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Reginald Bonamy.
Mr. Bonamy, you're here in 2020 CF 10330. You're arrested for sexual battery on an 18-year-old or older by a person 18 years of age or older. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. We have some witnesses present. Are you both testifying, or just one of you?
Just one.
Just you? Okay, you're gonna have to get much closer to the microphone for me, please?
Yes,
Can you
Your Honor.
raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak louder.
I affirm.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Can you
Yes,
state
Honor.
your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Veronica Bonamy, Bonamy.
All right, Mr. Miller, did you wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor, she has something she'd like to tell the court.
Okay, have you talked to her?
No, I have not, Your Honor.
Okay. I mean, this is your opportunity to ask her questions.
Ma'am, would you like to see him released?
Well, this is a F1 punishable by 30 years, so he's entitled to a bond.
Sorry, are you afraid of him? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him? Do you have concerns for your safety if he's released? Your Honor,
I don't know if she's answering. Ma'am, I know this may be difficult, but if you're here to testify, then
Yes.
I need you to testify, or else I can't make any determinations about any conditions of release.
I want him released, but I don't want any contact with him.
Okay.
okay. Okay,
Okay.
I have no further questions.
Mr.
Your Honor.
Matos, did you have any questions?
She doesn't want any contact, Your Honor. I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right, ma'am. You're all living together?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All I can do is have him maintain a separate residence, and so if you're in fear for your safety, you'll have to contact the state attorney's office. They can walk you through a process and help you get maybe an injunction. You can also go to the clerk's office. They can walk you through that process as well. There's also Harbor House. So I can only order that he maintain a separate residence, okay? If he's living at the residence, I cannot kick him out of the residence, okay? So if you're there, he cannot go there. If he goes there, he would be violating my order. He could be held at no bond if he violates, but you'll need to take action on your own as well, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just want to make sure that you understand that. All right, so Mr. Bonamy, I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. That means no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging, no communication through a third party. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence. If you need to go back to the residence to get any personal belongings, okay, you must be with law enforcement. So that means that you call them. They'll tell you where to go to meet them. You do not go to the residence without them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess weapons, firearms or any ammunition. If you have any weapons or any firearms, you're to surrender them to local law enforcement within 6 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. Miller, did you wish to be heard as to bond? It's a F1 punishable by 30, so it's not a proof evident issue here.
Right, understandable, Your Honor. I see there's no prior Florida convictions, no prior arrests. I just asked the court consider the facts and the standard bond schedule amount for this
There's
level
no
of offense.
schedule, so,
Well, there's no testimony about what kind of bond could be afforded, or in this case, the state would ask Your Honor to set a reasonable bond to ensure the compliance with the conditions of the court. I believe I believe she has.
yes, ma'am.
Could I say something, please?
Sure, absolutely.
Your Honor, I don't wish him to go to jail. I just want him to stay away from me, and he is a good person. It's,
I understand. He's entitled to a bond, so I'm going to give him a bond. If I can only order him to stay away from you. Now, whether he follows that order or not is another issue. And there are other things that you can do to protect your safety. You can speak with Harbor House, okay? And you can also call the state attorney's office or go down to the clerk's office and get an injunction or apply for an injunction, okay? And that would be adjudicated by another judge downtown. Do you understand those things?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so my order alone won't necessarily make him stay away. I can only order it, but, you know, that, do you
I was
understand
just
what I'm saying?
I just was asking. I was just asking that his bond not be high because I know. He's not a bad person, Your Honor. It's just. I just want you to show some mercy towards him, that's all.
Okay, he's only been arrested. The state has not made a charging decision, so that's something that the state will reach out to you about, and you can talk about how you feel about the case with the state attorney who's assigned to the case, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All
I
right, so
just
he's
don't want any
just been
contact.
arrested, okay?
Yes, Your
So,
Honor.
Mr. Matos, did you wish to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, I spoke to my client about a bond that he can't afford. Clearly, there was a problem in the marital relationship.
I can't hear you, Mr. Matos.
I'm sorry. Can you, that's a little too loud. I just speak up higher.
Just speak up.
Yeah, Your Honor, I spoke to my client about the bond that he can afford. We can see that there's a problem between the marital relationship between the two. They're getting divorced.
Yes.
They're getting divorced, and as you can hear, the witness is not strong. My client said he's willing not to contact her and lived in a separate place. I just want to ask the court to set a reasonable bond, something that he can afford, so he can get out today, just based on the witness testimony. He said he can afford it for something around $500, so I would ask the court to set a $5,000 bond.
Okay. I'm setting bond at $15,000. If you can't make that bond, Mr. Bonamy, you'll have the public defender can file a motion to reduce the bond for you. Okay, sir? All right. Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony.
You're
Okay?
welcome, Your Honor.
And we're going to call Mr. Jackson closer to the end because it's a private attorney, Tommy Jackson, and they're not available right now, okay? He would be next in my list. Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Yes, Catherine Brewer.
Ms. Brewer, you're here in 2020 CF 10320. You're arrested for battery, domestic violence by strangulation. There's probable cause. And I'll appoint the public defender. Good morning. Can you tell me, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Michael Brewer, Brewer.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. Brewer?
I am 13.
Okay. Are you here with an adult?
Yes.
Okay. And who is that? Hi.
Tammy Martinez.
What's your name, ma'am?
Tammy Martinez.
Okay, and is he now living with you, or what is your relationship?
Yes, I picked him up yesterday.
What is your relationship?
Good friend of the family's.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Brewer, if I told you that what I'm wearing is red, if I told you that the robe that I'm wearing is red, is that a truth or is that a lie?
A lie?
Okay. If I told you that my hair was gray, is that a truth or a lie?
A lie?
Okay. All right. And so how do you know Catherine Brewer?
She was my mom.
Okay. And are you afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with her through the pending of the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you going to be continuing to live with the woman who's standing behind you?
Temporarily, yes.
Okay. And when you say temporarily, what does that mean?
When my mother gets out.
Okay. All right. Has anything like this, any violence happened in the relationship between you and your mom before?
No, ma'am.
So this is the first time that something's happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Has law enforcement ever been called to the residence for any other reason?
No, ma'am, not recently.
Okay. So before, but not recently?
Very long ago.
Sorry?
Like a long time ago.
Okay. What's a long time ago?
It was about my father.
Okay. What's a long time ago mean?
Law enforcement was called to my house like a while ago. Like not about this though.
Okay. How long ago?
Like a few years.
Okay. And was that, you said that's related to your father?
Yes.
Was he arrested?
Yes.
Okay. Was that a domestic violence incident?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you think that drugs or alcohol had any involvement in what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Drugs and alcohol, or
No, alcohol.
alcohol? Okay. Do you think that your mom has an alcohol problem?
No, not exactly. Just like occasionally she drinks, but not often.
Okay. Are you afraid for your, how old is your brother, Brady?
He's 11.
Are you afraid for his safety?
No, ma'am.
Is he in school right now?
Yes.
Has DCF become involved in this case? Does anyone know?
No, I don't think so.
All right, Mr. Miller, do you have any other questions for Mr. Brewer?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Matos?
Just to clear up, Your Honor, in the affidavit, it mentions that his mother choked him, but there it doesn't mention that it impeded his breathing. I would just ask him to clarify that for us. Mr. Brewer, in the affidavit for the police, it says that you were choked by your mother. I just want to ask if do you have any difficulty breathing while that happened?
No, sir.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions to the victim. I would just like to ask the court that, based on the fact that the affidavit does not allege that his breathing was impeded and that in the statements of the victim, I would like the court to find for the lesser included offense of battery, statute number 784.03.
Mr. Miller, do you have any response to that or any additional questions to the victim to establish the probable cause?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and so you're not asking for any additional time. All right, so I'm gonna find the lesser included offense of battery, and that is, or domestic violence battery, 784, and I should know the statute. .03-10. All right, I'm concerned here. There's some things that are going on that I'm just not comfortable allowing the contact today. Seems to be that You're getting locked out of your home a lot, is that right?
I went on a bike ride and I was out really late, and the doors were locked, but then I was let in.
Right, but I'm reading here that this is a continuing issue, that you're being locked out of the home
It happened once.
prior to today, to yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. And that your mother was intoxicated?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not gonna allow contact today. I'm just, something's going on here, and it needs a little bit of intervention here, and maybe a little timeout. Ma'am, is he allowed to stay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then
Both
can you
of
state,
them will
can
be.
you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and then what was your name and spell your
Tammy
last name?
Martinez. Tammy Martinez.
Okay, you can put your hand down now.
And
All right, and are you a neighbor or just
I
family
live close by, but I'm a
Okay.
good friend. And also, I'll take the younger one also.
Okay, so I'm gonna order no contact with the victim. He's the alleged victim and the witness, okay? So, I can't imagine that DCF is not involved here or will be. It doesn't say that DCF was contacted, but they're mandatory reporters when something like this happens. So, it just would boggle my mind if they were not contacted, and have an investigation pending. So they may contact you. So what I'm gonna do is, Ms. Brewer, you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim or your other son, who's the witness in the case. So I'm gonna have you sign the no contact order. That can be changed in writing by a judge. So your attorneys will have to file that motion downtown, okay? And that would be heard at a later date. I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence. So my guess is the children would not be living at the residence by themselves. So you can go to the residence if they're not there, okay? But I'm gonna put in there in an abundance of caution that if you need to return, and they're there, you can go with law enforcement. Ms. Martinez has indicated that the children can stay with her. So I think that's a reasonable, arrangement. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am gonna place you in pretrial release with random urinalysis. So no drugs or alcohol. You're to comply with any DCF investigation if there is one pending. So, my guess is that DCF was contacted in some manner, so you may hear from them, okay? Yes, Mr. Miller?
Is it possible to give her a card with the case number?
Absolutely,
And
yes.
just do it through here?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, did y'all have any other questions? No? Okay, all right, thank you. We have the no contact order? Should I sign that? Oh, okay.
Just let her know, ma'am, that's a card with the information to contact the state attorney's office about the case.
All right, did we have a victim here for Tommy Jackson? I just want to make sure. Okay, there is a victim here. Why don't we call next, and can we call Mr. Self and see if he is available? I don't want to keep her waiting, but he does have an attorney who needed a little bit of extra time this morning. They were on another I'd had another hearing. Okay, are you Chucky Martin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Martin, you're here in 2020 CF 103260. You're arrested for robbery, sudden snatching, battery, domestic violence, and aggravated assault. I do find probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I don't see any witnesses. I'm ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're also to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Count 2 is $1,000. Count 3 is $2,500.
How much would that be?
We'll see if he's available. Okay, ma'am?
Hi, this is Erling Complex Sanchez. Are you ready? Okay.
He's got a private attorney.
All right, so he's available? Okay, so we can bring in Tommy Jackson.
Here it is.
Mr. Self, this is Judge Wish. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Your Honor?
Good, thank you. Are you filing a notice of appearance for Mr. Jackson?
I am. I just have it typed up. I haven't had an opportunity this morning yet to file it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, and I have him and I have a witness also present in the courtroom who's going to testify. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Tommy Lee Jackson Jr.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're here in 2020 CF 10133. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for false imprisonment, domestic violence, battery, domestic violence, violation of a no contact order, and driving with a license suspended. And previously, probable cause was found. I'm not going to appoint the public defender because Mr. Self has indicated that he's going to be representing you in the case. And we do have a witness here. So, ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you state your name? You can put your hand down. Thank you. Can you state your name for me and then spell your last name, please?
Takeda Hartnett, Hardnett.
Okay. And then how do you know Mr. Jackson?
I used to be in a relationship with him.
Used to be?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of the case?
Yes, ma'am, because I help him get his medication, get him rides to his appointments for his medication, to aspire to take his mental health medication, as I told you before, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of medication does he take?
He's supposed to be on Depakote. He's supposed to take Depakote.
What, has he been diagnosed with a mental health issue?
Yes, ma'am.
What
Yes,
is-
ma'am, bipolar.
And has anything like this or happened before in the past?
No, ma'am.
Okay, were you the victim in the case that was recently dropped by the state?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there's been violence in the relationship?
As I told you, Apopka police have a tendency, they has a lawsuit out with his mother, and they has a tendency, every time they be called out, anybody call the police, it don't matter. If they come and they're present, him and his mother's present is in his father, they tend to make an arrest because of that lawsuit they has with his mother, Allison Sims, on file.
Every time
Okay, Mr. Jackson, I would not talk about anything, okay? You have an attorney who can speak for you, and that's why you have an attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Anything you say can be used against
Yes,
you. You're
ma'am.
being recorded, okay? All right, Mr. Self, do you have any questions for the witness?
I do not.
Okay. So, Mr. Self, I've read the affidavit. There's surveillance cameras. There's an independent witness in the case, I believe. No, it's just video cameras, I'm sorry. So, which specifically shows the incident occurring on video. I don't know if you've had the benefit of reading the affidavit.
I have briefly read the one I'm sorry, I have not read the one related to this case.
Okay, it's on video, and so I know that there was another recent case that there was a no contact order, and that's the basis. I know it's been no bills by the state on I think the 20th.
Yeah, that's why I question, Your Honor, the probable cause for the violation of the PTR.
Well, that
in a
was,
domestic-
yeah, and it was because this is alleged to have occurred on August 14th, where the no contact order was in place. It wasn't
Okay.
until August 20th that the case was no infoed.
Correct, okay.
So at the
I-
time, at the time, the no contact order was in place, and so there was probable cause at that time.
I understand now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm gonna order no contact today. There's too much going on here. And so, he does have an attorney. I'm sure Mr. Self can help him or get him some services that might help him get his medication. But there seems to be some reoccurring issues going on. I don't know if it's the Apopka Police Department or if it's his own behavior, but, so I'm gonna order no contact today. So Mr. Jackson, I'm gonna have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so make sure you cannot have contact with her until that order is changed in writing or the case is no longer a case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if you have questions about it, you'll need to ask Mr. Self. He can give you legal advice.
Okay.
Okay? He might be able to help you get your medications as well. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're to maintain a separate residence. Do you all live together?
No,
Didn't think
I live
so.
on 8th
Okay.
Street with my grandmother.
So just continue to maintain a separate residence. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Take all medication as prescribed. No any other drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And Mr. Self, he's out on a VOP bond.
Yes.
The VOP, I believe, the basis for that was the other case. My guess is
Correct.
they're gonna violate him again. So I'm gonna take no action on that today. My guess is he's probably gonna get a warrant for another VOP.
Yep, I'll make him aware of that, Your Honor.
Okay, just so he understands that, because I don't take action on it, doesn't mean that
It
your
won't happen down the
probation
road.
officer won't file a warrant, okay?
But he might not. 'Cause
He might not, I don't know, I'm
Yes,
just
ma'am.
letting you
Right.
know
Yes,
that
ma'am.
it's possible that they may, okay? I don't think he has a detainer I don't think he doesn't have a detainer for it at this time.
Correct.
Okay, does he have any other holds? Okay, doesn't have any other holds, so I'm not gonna take any action on that today. So I'm gonna set the bond on count 1 at $5,000, count 2 will be 100, count 3 will be 100, and count 4 will be 100. You're also not to drive without a valid driver's license, Mr. Jackson, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Sell?
No, Your Honor. I believe he had an appointment to get his driver's license today, but we'll see if he'll make that or not.
Okay, I'm also gonna order that you report to probation, your probation officer, within 48 hours, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Is there any kind of way you can? Because I don't have much money. I'm on the.
Well, Mr. Jackson, you're lucky that I'm not revoking
Yes,
your
ma'am.
bond on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
violation of probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I mean, I could hold you no bond,
No, ma'am,
and I'm
no.
not doing that.
No,
So, Mr. Self, I'm sure will get with whoever he needs to get with in order to help you post a bond, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Anything else?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. All right. Mr. Self, did you want to put anything else on the record?
Nothing else on the record. Other than, Your Honor, my client does have very limited resources. He's on a fixed income. He does get a government check regarding a disability. And I would just ask that the $5,000 bond be reduced to $2,500.
Well, Mr. Self, I don't think that's an unreasonable bond considering the prior history as well as the violation of probation. I mean, I'm not revoking his release.
I understand, Your
Okay,
Honor. I
so
just
I'm
needed to
gonna,
state that.
I'm gonna stay the bond as I previously said.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, bye-bye. Thank you, ma'am. All right, please tell me your name.
Robbie Mellon.
All right, Mr. Mellon, you're here in 2020 CF 1021080. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for domestic violence, battery by strangulation. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We have a witness present. Ma'am, please raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, and you're just going to have to speak up. It's hard to hear. Okay.
Yes.
Don't hit yourself in the face. Okay. All right, can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Kimara Moody, Moody.
Okay, and then how do you know Mr. Mellon?
We was in a relationship for a year and 4 months.
I can't hear you.
We was in a relationship for a year and 4 months.
Okay, and you're no longer in a relationship?
No,
Are you afraid of him?
no,
Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of this case?
yes,
All right, and are you living together?
yes.
So you live together, but you're not in a relationship?
We're not, but I'm moving somewhere else soon.
You're what?
I'm moving soon, so.
Okay, when are you moving?
I have no idea, but I will be getting my things soon.
Has anything like this or any violence happened in your relationship in the past?
No.
Law enforcement's never been called?
Yes, but it only went, like, this the second time.
Second. When was the
And
first?
it was just a misunderstanding.
Okay, so I'm getting, the affidavit says that you currently reside together. The face sheet from pretrial release says that they do not reside together. I don't know where they get that information from.
Sorry, what was that?
I said your testimony is you live together. The affidavit says that you live together, and then pretrial release has a face sheet in front of me that says that defendant and the victim stated they do not reside together. So I'm just a little confused.
We used to live together, but now I'm not in the house. I'm somewhere, I'm living with
Okay, but it's
family
in the
member.
same house.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Miller, do you have any additional questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Matos?
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not going to allow contact today based on my review of the affidavit. So, Mr. Mellon, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything in the no contact order?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're to maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Your bond will be set at $3,500. I'm not going to take any action on your other case. You have the public defender. I can advise you that if you get arrested again for anything, chances are you may be sitting in jail with no bond, okay? Now you've got 2 cases pending. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Rico Ransom. Rico Ransom.
Okay, Mr. Ransom, you're here in 2020 CF 10323AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person and battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. And can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You tell me your name and spell your last name for me.
Tiana, Lewis.
All right, Miss Lewis. How do you know Mr. Ransom?
My boyfriend.
And are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
And you live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of the case?
Yes, ma'am. We have a child together.
Okay, and then you're also pregnant, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid for the safety of your child or your unborn child?
No, ma'am.
Okay, has any violence occurred in your relationship in the past?
No, ma'am.
Is this the first time that law enforcement has been called?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have not been a victim of any of the domestic violence battery convictions
No,
that
ma'am.
he's had?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what the case, the open case is out of Flagler County that he has? It's a felony.
I'm aware of it.
Do you know what it is? You don't know what the charge is?
No, you have to ask him.
I can't ask him.
Oh,
Do we know what the Flagler County charges are? All right, and so if something like this were to happen again, would you call law enforcement?
I'm sure it won't, but
Okay,
yes.
you would?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, Mr. Miller, do you have any additional questions for Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Matos?
No questions from this council.
Okay, I just want to know what's going on in Flagler County and what kind of a case it is, so I'm gonna wait to get that information.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
I am due at any moment, so I was wondering if he's able to be pretrial because
Well, he doesn't qualify for pretrial release because he has open cases other places, okay?
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Miller?
Your Honor, according to CCIS, I believe it's out of Flagler, it's a felony of possession of a firearm or concealed weapon by a convicted felon, and I have the case number 2020.
It's not, but it's not domestic violence.
No, Your Honor, I believe
Okay.
it's just that single count.
Okay, just wanted to find out what it was because it didn't say. Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Ransom, I'm gonna let you have non-hostile, non-violent contact with Miss Lewis.
Thank you.
That means you're not to touch her inappropriately, you're not to push her, you're not to throw water on her.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
not to throw anything at her, you're not to get in her face, say mean things or be disrespectful to her. So no violent or no aggressive forms of communication, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
She is about to have your baby, she has another child of yours, respect her
Yes, ma'am.
because that needs to happen,
Yes,
okay? If
ma'am.
you violate any of that, I have no issue revoking your bond
Okay.
and holding you at no bond,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Ma'am, do you think any drugs or alcohol had any involvement?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I am going to set your bond on count 1 at $3,500. Count 2 will be $500. All right?
We're currently not working right now.
Right.
I have no,
Well, Mr. Ransom, I'm happy to take testimony, but I don't think that's an unreasonable bond considering your criminal history, as well as the fact that you already have an open case out of Flagler County for weapons.
yes, ma'am.
So I don't think that's an unreasonable bond.
Okay. I didn't understand how much it was.
So
I'm
you
sorry.
would have to call a bondsman, but usually it's 10%.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I can't tell you for sure what a bondsman would do, but,
So I take this paper?
okay?
Thank you.
All right. Good luck, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Freddie Reed.
All right, Mr. Reed, you're here in 2020 CF 10252AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for attempted first-degree murder with a firearm with discharge, aggravated assault with a firearm, assault, domestic violence, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and criminal mischief between 200 and 1,000. And I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I believe count 1 is a life felony. Mr. Miller, did you wish to be heard as to bond?
Can I just have just one moment, Your Honor? Your Honor, I would ask the court, based off the warrant affidavit, I wasn't provided a copy of the warrant affidavit, and it's not uploaded in our system.
Do you want mine?
If I may briefly?
Or we can print out a copy. Can we print out a copy for Mr. Miller? You can always ask the clerk
Okay.
for a copy. Do you have access to Odyssey?
No, I don't believe we do. Odyssey?
Okay.
May I approach?
Yep. I'll give you a minute to be able to read it. Mr. Matos, did you have a copy of it? Okay.
Your Honor, I would ask the court to make a finding of proof evident presumption great. The reason being that this is a known defendant to the victim. There were shell casings located at the scene. There was a Mazda vehicle that was located that had a bullet hole in it. So there's no issues with unknown individuals and identification issues in this case. It stated specifically that he did fire the gun at the victim.
There's two victims.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'd ask the court, based off the evidence submitted in the warrant affidavit, to hold the defendant on no bond, proof evident presumption great.
All right, Mr. Matos?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the affidavit does point that there was shots, but before those two shots, there was 2 shots fired at the air, clearly intended to scare the 2 victims at the time. And it says that shots were fired towards them. The Miss Davis, who was, the victim whose name is blocked out on the affidavit, said she was close enough to smell the gunpowder, and she froze in place. I would say the alleged shooting is denied by my client, but beyond that, I would say he was shooting to scare them. So I would ask the court to find for an aggravated assault.
It's a warrant. It's a warrant.
Oh, it's a warrant. Your Honor, just based on the facts, we would ask for a reasonable bond of $50,000, and just because if she was so close to him to smell the gunpowder, I'm not saying my client is a marksman, but to intend to shoot someone at that range, if he was trying to kill her, he would have shot instead of scared.
Well, the statements were that he fired 2 shots in the air, and then he shot towards her, and she said she could feel the bullet zip past her leg as she started to call 911. Then the other victim in the case indicated that she froze in place and was in fear for her life. She said that when he fired the gun at her, she could feel the bullet go past her ear. She smelled the gunpowder and her ears were ringing. And there was evidence found at the scene. So I do find proof evident presumption great. I'm going to hold him at no bond on count 1. Your office can file a motion downtown. Bond on count 2 is $10,000. Bond on count 3 is $500. Bond on count 4 is $150. Bond on count 5 is $100. No contact directly or indirectly with either victim or any witness in the case. Mr. Reed, do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to go back to that scene where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No alcohol or any drugs without a valid prescription. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Hold on. I think he would have a 5-day hold anyway. Yeah. So he's on probation at this time, so he would have had a 5-day hold anyway for a probation officer to file an affidavit if they were going to violate him. So, Mr. Reed, the public defender's office, you'll want to contact them. They'll be able to file a bond motion downtown for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck, sir. right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Tamiko Smith.
All right.
Tamiko Smith.
Okay, you're here in 2020 CF 1031180. You're arrested for aggravated battery, domestic violence, and aggravated battery with a weapon. Count 1 is in the alternative. And I do find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. You'll have to speak up though, because it's hard
Yes.
to hear. Thanks. Can you tell me your name and then spell your last name for me, please?
Akiria, Fertil.
And then is that Fertil?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Fertil, how do you know Miss Smith?
My mother.
And are you afraid of her?
No.
Do you want contact with her?
Yes.
Okay, and are you? You sometimes stay with her, but you do have your own residence.
I don't live with her. I live at my own residence.
Okay, so you just go visit your siblings?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And are you afraid for the safety of your siblings?
No.
Okay. So you're not afraid of her, you're not afraid for your safety either, and you don't live together, correct?
No.
Okay. Do you think any drugs or alcohol had any involvement in what happened?
Yes.
Which one?
Drugs.
Okay. Do you think that she has a drug problem?
She does.
Does she have any weapons or firearms?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Appears to have been a handgun involved. So, was there a weapon there?
Yes.
Okay. Is that her weapon?
I don't know.
You don't know? Had you seen it before?
No.
Okay. All right. And if something like this were to happen again, would you feel comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yes.
Has there been any violence in your relationship in the past?
Yes.
Okay. Were you, how recently?
Over a year.
Okay. And what happened with that?
She was arrested that time as well.
She was arrested. Did anything happen with the case?
No.
Okay. All right. Mr. Miller, did you have any additional questions?
And the case you're referencing was a 2018?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Matos?
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Vertil, but I'm going to order no contact today, and that can be changed at a later date in writing. So, Ms. Smith, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order, and that means with any witnesses as well. You're not, do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence, so if for some reason any witnesses or the victim is there, then you can return with law enforcement to get your things.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have had an ex parte order from the court before, but however, when law enforcement went out to the home, she didn't open the door for them to have her Baker Act to Lakeside for 72.
If you want to start talking about what happened, that's what your attorney's for.
I'm sorry?
Said your attorney is here to help you with any arguments that you have to the court.
She's talking. Here.
Yes, I'm talking.
Oh, I thought she was talking. It's
No.
hard with the mask on, and I don't know who's talking. I'm so sorry, ma'am.
My mom, she has a disability, bipolar, schizophrenia, and stuff in that sort. I don't want to see her in jail, but I do want to see how assistance can be helped with her.
Okay, so it seems like the other case that she's out on release on, there was a motion filed by her attorneys for a competency hearing. That hearing is set. I think there's been one evaluation. I did read that evaluation. And then there's another evaluation, I believe, that may be coming soon. Hopefully maybe she can get some help there, and you can contact the state attorney's office for this case and tell them what you want to see happen, okay? But all I can do is just order conditions of release for this case today.
Okay.
And see how that goes. But I don't have any, I can't order her into any treatment or anything like that, okay?
Okay.
All right? So I think that they're working on that on the other case. In this case, the state hasn't filed on it yet. So there's no case pending in this case.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm ordering no contact directly or indirectly with you or any witnesses. She's to maintain a separate residence. She can go back with law enforcement. She's to comply with any DCF investigation pending. No drugs or any alcohol without a valid prescription. Take all medications if she's prescribed any as prescribed by her doctor. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. If you have any weapons, Ms. Smith, or any firearms, or they're in the home, they are not to be in the home. They're to be surrendered within 6 hours of release from the Orange County Jail. Do you understand? Is that a yes? Okay. All right, so I'm not going to take any action on the other case today. I'm not going to revoke the bond. And I believe that you have the public defender in that case, ma'am, correct? Okay. So keep in touch with them. Don't miss any court dates or any evaluations by any doctor, okay? I'm gonna set your bond on count 1 at $2,500. Count 2 will be $150. Right, ma'am?
Thank you.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
Ma'am, I had a question. I get this Social Security disability
Okay.
benefits. So I mean, I don't have money. How can I go home get out to go
Well,
home?
if you can't, your
my
attorneys will be able to
kids.
file any motions to set bond for you, okay? Or reduce the bond. Somebody might be able to help you and your family pay a bond as well, so I don't know. All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Justice Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 CF 10305AO. It's an aggravated battery on a pregnant person. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and tell me your name and spell your last name for me.
Yes, my first name is Issa, last name Gordon, Gordon.
All right, Miss Gordon, how do you know Mr. Williams?
He's my boyfriend.
Okay, and then do you live together?
We do. Yes, we do. Currently.
Okay, and are you living at the extended stay?
I was until last night after the occurrence. And me and my children went to Haines City to my grandparents' house.
Okay, is that where you're going to be staying?
That's where my children for sure are going to be staying for right now until until we close on a house.
Are you afraid of him?
Not at all.
And so do you want to have contact
I
with
do.
him through the pending of this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think drugs or alcohol had any involvement?
I do believe alcohol did. Yes.
Has there been any violence in your relationship in the past?
No, ma'am.
And you're pregnant?
Yes.
Are the two children, are they between the two of you, or are they?
No, they're not.
Okay, so they're not his?
No.
Okay, and so are you afraid for the safety of your children?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid for the safety of your unborn child?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Miller, do you have any, well, let me ask you, if something like this were to happen again, or there were any violence or you felt threatened, would you call law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Miller, did you have any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Matos?
No questions, Your Honor.
Do you need to live together right now?
That was the plan because we're purchasing a house. So that was the plan, yes, ma'am.
When are you supposed to close on
In 3 weeks.
All right, and you're telling me you're absolutely not in fear whatsoever for your
No,
safety?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
or your unborn child?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to allow you to have non-hostile, non-violent contact. That means no pushing, no shoving, no biting, no scratching, no kicking, no pushing, no getting in her face, no being disrespectful, no saying mean things to her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you violate any of those things, I will have no problem holding you at no bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not going to have any contact with the witness in the case. You're not to return back to the extended stay hotel at 8750 Universal Road. If you still have anything there, you can go back with law enforcement to get your things. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition in the case. Your bond is set at $5,000. All right,
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Noelle Banyaski.
All right. You're here in 2020 MM 6238AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. And sir, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And tell me your name and spell your last name, please.
Richard Hammond,
Okay.
Hammond.
You can put your hand down. Thank you. All right, Mr. Hammond, how do you know Miss Budneski?
She's my fiance.
Okay, and then how long have you been together?
A little over 2 years.
Are you afraid of her?
I am not afraid of her.
Okay, and do you want to have contact with her?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Has anything like this happened in the past?
No, ma'am.
Do you think drugs or alcohol had any involvement?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Right. If something like this were to happen again or you felt threatened, would you call law enforcement?
Yes, I would.
Mr. Miller, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Matos?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Budniewski, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Close
but-
enough.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let you have non-hostile, non-violent contact, okay? So no pushing, no slapping, no hitting, biting, scratching, getting in his face, being disrespectful. If things get heated, walk away, okay? Go for a
Okay.
walk, go for a bike ride, go work out, do something, okay?
Completely understood. Thank
All
you.
right. So, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance, okay? You gotta show up to court if there's a court date. I don't know if the state will charge it, but you might get a court date before the state makes a charging decision. Do not miss court, okay?
Okay.
Do you understand?
So basically, I'm being released, but I will.
You're promising to go to court.
Oh, okay.
If you miss court, you could get a warrant and you could be sitting in there with no bond, okay?
Okay.
So it's really important. I'm gonna order that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release, okay?
Okay.
So just call the phone number on there and make sure that they know how to get in touch with you and they have your correct contact information, as well as the clerk, okay?
Okay.
Don't want you to miss court, okay?
All right.
if
Thank
have
you.
it. All
I
right, good
appreciate
luck,
it.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Patrick Elliott.
Mr. Elliott, you're here in 2020 MM 6214AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
If they want to.
Good morning, sir.
This is my husband?
Right, please don't speak.
Oh, sorry.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Tell me your name and spell your last name, please.
It's Brian Gidcomb, Gidcumb.
All right, Mr. Gidcomb, how do you know Mr. Elliott?
He's my husband.
Okay, how long have you been together?
4 years.
Okay, do you live together?
Yes.
And you live not here, you live in Texas, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you're just here visiting?
Correct.
All right. And then, are you afraid of him?
When he drinks,
Do you think that he has an alcohol problem?
yes.
Okay. And I'm reading the affidavit. Do you think that there's drugs and alcohol involved?
Something called poppers, yes.
Okay. It's an inhalant. Okay. And has there been violence in your relationship in the past?
Yes.
Has he been arrested before for domestic violence?
No, because what happened, it initiated, and I defended myself, so it was one of those where they were like, you know, you're both, it's an issue, they're gonna both go to jail, so,
So you were both arrested?
no.
No.
We just said, you know, I went away. I went to a hotel.
Okay. All right. And when was that?
That was, in 2018.
Okay. Like 2 years ago. Other than that, has there been any other violence?
Off and on, yes.
Okay. Does he have another place to live?
No.
No. So if you go back to Texas, there's no family or friends that he could stay with?
They're all out of state. I mean, if, you know, I know there's something called no hostile contact. I think
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. You're telling me that this is, when he drinks, he gets violent,
Yeah.
and you're saying he has a drinking problem. I mean, if I order him not to drink, do you think that he would even comply with that order?
I would hope so. I don't know. I would hope so.
Well, based on what you're telling me, I'm not allowing contact today, okay? So that can be changed in writing by a judge at a later date. Seems to be there's a bunch of things going on here, which is causing the violence, so maybe he needs to get some help. So I'm gonna order no contact today. So, Mr. Elliott, you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes.
You're to maintain a separate residence, so if you need to return back with law enforcement, you can do so one time. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm gonna place you in pretrial release, so you'll be released today.
Okay. Do I have to come back to Florida?
Huh?
Do I come back to Florida for a
If
trial?
if there is a court date, you'll have to come back unless
Okay.
your attorneys have the ability to waive that. So you need to contact the public defender and stay in touch with them. And I don't know, the state makes a charging decision. I don't make that decision. You've just been arrested. They haven't formally charged you with an information, okay, the formal charges. So they'll contact you and they'll find out what you want to happen with the case, but I'm not gonna allow contact today, okay?
Okay.
So,
Your Honor, I got plane tickets for us to go back. He's on the same plane, but he's like at the other end.
okay, well, I mean, you can't have contact, so, you know, he can get on the plane, but he just can't have verbal or, you know, or face-to-face contact and things like that with you, so.
Oh.
Okay, so no text messaging, no phone calls, no emails, no communication through a third party. Okay?
All right, and I also have his cell phone.
Okay.
I,
You might be able to give that somebody here.
When he gets downstairs, he can put it in his property.
Okay, so you ask them to put it in his property downstairs when
Thank you, Your
when you
Honor.
go out, okay? All right. Good luck. Yes, Mr. Miller? Yeah, you can he's gonna give you their contact information for the state attorney's office, so you can contact them with your opinions about the case, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you. All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
My name is Clark Farmer.
All right, Mr. Farmer, you're here in 2020 MM 422AA. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Please raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to speak up because I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Please tell me your name and spell your last name for me.
Teresa Lynn, D-U-F-F, Duff.
Okay, Miss Duff. How do you know Mr. Clark? Or Mr.
He's my
Farmer,
friend.
I'm sorry.
We've been in a relationship since January.
Okay. Are you afraid of him?
No.
Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of this case?
Yes.
And do you live together?
Yes, I think he needs anger management.
Okay, well, I can't order him into anything today. That's something that you'll have to talk to the
And
state.
drug and alcohol treatment.
Okay, I can't order him into any treatment today. It's just conditions of his release and setting a bond or any other form of release for him. So you'll have to, if you want those things to happen, you'll have to cooperate with the state and contact the state attorney's office.
I will.
But they can't get him into any of those things if you don't.
I will cooperate.
Okay. So.
I'm with Vine.
I'm sorry?
I'm contacting Vine. Vine. V-I-N-E. Vine.
Vine? I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is? It's for the victim awareness through your police station.
Okay.
There's a website, it's called VineLink, and you can put the information.
Okay. You can also contact Harbor House, okay?
I don't need to go to Harbor House. I have a house. I just want him to get drug and alcohol treatment and anger management. And that's what he needs.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to order no contact today. Mr. Farmer, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the form?
Do you want me to read this? Oh, this is the same thing. Yeah, I've read most of it. I guess I have no choice but to sign, correct?
I'm ordering no contact, directly or indirectly. I'm asking if you understand everything on the form there. You have to comply with that order.
Okay.
If you don't, I can hold you at no bond.
No, I'll sign, please.
Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're to maintain a separate residence. If the victim's at the residence, you may not be
I
there.
do not want him to maintain a separate residence.
Well,
I want him to
ordering
get
that.
drug and
I
alcohol
can't order
treatment
him
and
into
anger
that.
management.
I can't-
We both live at the same house. I'm dropping the charges.
Okay, well, I can't drop the charges, ma'am, so you'll have to speak with the state attorney's office. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal things. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm setting your bond at $1,000. All right, good luck, ma'am. Thank you.
How come you were so lenient with the other people, but you're not with the first-time offender, is what I want to
He's
know.
not a first-time offender, ma'am. I'm looking at his criminal history here, and he's not a first-time offender.
Well, I think you're being pretty damn hard on a 24-year-old, if you ask me. And you took no time to ask me anything.
Well, what else do you want to tell me?
I want to drop charges against him.
That I can't do that.
Why?
Because I don't have the authority to do that. That's the state attorney's.
Then why didn't the state attorney do anything for him? You guys took the time for everybody else. I waited here the entire time. I was
asked
here at
you a lot of
8:30 in the morning.
questions.
Been waiting here. I'm trying to get him out of jail today, and you can't say that he can't live where we're
bond
at.
at $1,000.
I need a card.
Okay.
I'll get you out a card.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning, Chelsea Fletcher.
All right, right, Ms. Fletcher, you're here in 2020 MM 6236AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. And, sir, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Francisco Rodriguez, Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, how do you know Ms. Fletcher?
We were together.
Sorry?
We were dating.
You were dating?
Yes.
Are you no longer together?
No, we're not.
Do you live together?
Yes, we do.
Are you afraid of her?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to have contact with her through the pending of this case?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Mr. Miller, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Matos?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So, Ms. Fletcher, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order. You have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. You're also going to have to maintain a separate residence. So that means that if he's there, you can't live there. You can go back one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. And you do qualify for pretrial release, so you need to make sure you comply with the court order on pretrial release. I'm going to order you into that program, okay?
Okay.
All right, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good luck, sir.
Just give him the contact
Sure,
info.
you can give him whatever you want. All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Gerardo Huertas?
Mr. Huertas, you're here in 2020 MM 6239AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. Do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes.
All right, you're also not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred.
No problem, ma'am.
Maintain separate residences. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. And does he not qualify for pretrial?
He needs to be interviewed, but he doesn't have any history, so he
Okay,
can.
so I'll
qualify.
do a $500 bond or pretrial release if he qualifies. So they may ask you some questions, okay? To see if they can qualify you, Mr. Huertas, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right.
After this, you'll let me know though?
Yeah.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Elaine Ramos.
Ms. Ramos, you're here in 2020 MM 6215. It's a battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back, you can go one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. You qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial release, okay? The state may contact you too. I think they filed as an at-large on the alleged victim, so they may contact you as well, okay?
Please, thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
James Damier.
Mr. Damier, you're here in 2020 CT 5291. It's a no valid driver's license, and I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public, he still has the immigration detainer?
No, Your Honor, it's
Oh,
been
it's been
closed.
lifted?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And so, I'm not, right, hold on, hold off on the PD. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
Credit
Well, he
transfer.
has no criminal history. You're visiting from Paris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Did you, see, if you don't resolve the case today, you're gonna have to come back to court, and you're probably gonna be back in Paris at that time, okay?
What do you mean by resolve the court?
Meaning resolve the case, meaning plea it out today. Mr. Matos, this is your job, not mine.
Oh, I hear you. But I didn't know he
I
was
mean,
from Paris.
I can't, I gotta stay in my lane. It's a little difficult,
Let me try to
so.
walk him through it. No.
So I've appointed the PD.
That's fine.
Alright. And the offer was credit time served, right? Your Honor?
Yeah.
I spoke to the state, and I spoke to my client. He would like to, I expect typically the state to adjudication with held to, and my client is willing to plead for the credit time serve offer.
Okay, I would be inclined to give him a withhold.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't hear
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right, so has he read the plea form?
I just explained to him, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Damier, did you understand everything on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're living in Paris. I don't think you're on probation anywhere, are you?
No.
Okay, do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay.
I have to advise you of that. I can't tell you whether or not that would make a difference, but I don't think that it would, but I can't. You haven't had an opportunity to meet with any immigration attorney. But it's not a crime of dishonesty or moral turpitude. And so, but I can't tell you one way or another.
Depends on how the election goes.
I don't think so.
Not our election.
This is the state of Florida. They're doing their own thing. So, all right. Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I do find a factual basis to accept your plea of no contest to the offense of no valid driver's license. I am going to withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 27th. It's 1 day? 1 day, credit for 1 day time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment, sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Okay? Good luck. All right, please tell me your name.
David Henry.
All right, Mr. Henry, you're here in 2020 CT 5292. You were arrested for driving while your license is suspended. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. And you're not to drive without a valid driver's license. That bond will stay at 500, 2020 MM 623780. To possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia, that's a less than 20 grams. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case as well. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond is 500 and 100. You're out on release for DUI, possession of drug paraphernalia, robbery, possession of drug paraphernalia, petty theft, 2 priors, battery, possession of cannabis. I am revoking the releases, setting the bonds at none. You do have attorneys in those cases. They can file any appropriate motions for bond for you in those cases, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Alexandra Leyva.
All right, Mr. Leyva, you're here in 2020 CT 273580, and that was a failure to appear at pretrial conference. And the judge did set your bond at 1,000. You've also got 2020 CT 5293. It's a driving while license suspended. And I do find probable cause for that. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Does he have the PD in the other case?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to stay the other bond at 500. No driving without a valid driver's license. Today's not a good day to resolve these cases because of your driving history, sir. Okay?
Excuse me, Your Honor, I can bond out then?
Yes.
Okay. Can I say something? No.
I stayed the bond. Yeah, it's a KPS. Okay. Take no action.
Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams.
I have the arraignments, but we can do whatever you want.
They are, Mr. Bowman, Ms. Michael.
Okay, and so the PD was previously appointed, 2020 MM 520780. It's medical. Mr. Matos, did you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Give him a date.
Division 84, pretrial conference date, October 8th at 10 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Paul Clark.
Okay, I had, are these still,
No,
what,
Paul Clark had a written being not
okay.
guilty. So that's it.
That's the only arraignment I had. Then I had Baloney, the felony VOPs, or I'll do whatever you guys want.
You want to do that?
Okay. All right, good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
My name is Jane Bellany.
Okay, Mr. Bellany, you're here in 17 CF 4895. It's an on-due violation of probation. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And the bond will stay set at none at this time. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. You've got 2020 CT 5297. It's reckless driving. I do find probable cause. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And your bond will stay at 500 in that case. All right, so get in touch with the public defender, but you will see Judge Whitehead in a couple days, okay?
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Amir James.
All right, Mr. James, you're here on a VOP warrant 2019 CF 2903AO. It's a violation of community control. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment, okay?
Okay.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Mendel Stewart.
Okay, Mr. Stewart, you're here in 2015 CF 8560. It's a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I'll appoint the public defender. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment, okay? I'm not taking any action on the out on release case. That's what's violated you, okay? Good morning. Tell me your name.
Shiloh Bennett.
I had the misdemeanor warrant, VOPs, but I'm happy to, what was her name again? Bennett?
Out of county.
Okay. All right. Miss Bennett, you're here on a Lake County warrant. You do have bonds of $2,000, $5,000, and $1,000. So if you're able to bond out, you can bond out. I'm gonna appoint the public defender anyway here, just in case you're not able to bond out. They should be able to facilitate anything going on in Lake County. And one of the judges here will also contact the judge in Lake County. So if you haven't been able to bond out, maybe those would be modified, but.
So the holds will be up.
I'm sorry?
They were saying there was 2 holds last night.
2 holds?
I'm not sure.
I'm not showing anything on your base sheet showing any holds. No. No holds? No holds. No.
So I would be able to bond out and get out here? Okay, thank you so much.
All right, good luck, ma'am. All right, please tell me your name.
Israel Garcia Marzan.
Okay, sir, you're here on an Osceola County warrant, and the judge in Osceola did set your bond at none. So I'm gonna appoint the public defender here. It's the same circuit, but they'll be able to help you, and the judge here will contact a judge in Osceola to see if you'll be able to get a bond. But in the meantime, they can also file any motions for you here, okay?
Okay.
Good luck, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Brian Nieto.
Okay. Okay. Huh? I had it? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, 2018 CT 12018W. It's a violation of probation, and the judge did set your bond at none. Mr. Miller, there was a recommendation by probation. Did you see that? I don't know if that is your offer.
I believe I do have the recommendation, Your Honor. I would, given the number of technical violations and the nature of the offense, the underlying offense, I would go with the recommendation of probation.
Okay, so the recommendation of probation you would go with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Nito, I don't know if you want to resolve your case today. You would have to get a bond. You know, your attorney would have to file a motion to set bond for you to get a bond. If you wanted to resolve your case today, it would be 35 days in the Orange County Jail. Your probation would be revoked and terminated. I think you have 3 days credit for time served. So you might be able to get a bond hearing before you finish that sentence.
May I speak?
I don't know if you want to do that. So I can tell you that you've alleged to have violated your probation by going to or leaving the state or county of your residence without getting consent from your probation officer when you traveled to California on or about May 23rd, 2020, that you committed the offense of possession of nitrous oxide on or about May 23rd, 2020, as reflected in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department incident report, that you did associate with persons engaged in criminal activities by possessing the nitrous oxide. You didn't comply with instructions given by your probation officer when you failed to keep biweekly appointments on June 11th and June 12th of 2020, failing to pay $50 a month cost of supervision for the months of June and July or through July, currently $100 in arrears, and that you did possess, use, or consume the unlawful substance of nitrous oxide, as reflected in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department incident report. So, Mr. Matos, do you want to discuss that with him?
Yeah, Your Honor. Your Honor, he just told, like, I read it in the notes of the affidavit, and he read and said that now they're thinking that somebody that is using his identity.
Okay, well, if he has a defense,
Yeah.
then he doesn't have to take the plea, but I can't modify that bond today. You're gonna have to file a bond motion for him. Okay, so, I've just done the arraignment. I've advised him of the offenses. I'm gonna you wanna enter a denial on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter a denial.
So VOP status will be October 16th at 8:30 a.m. Courtroom 6B.
So Division 61, right? All of it, October 16th at 11 a.m.
How soon can I get a bond motion?
Oh.
But they gotta do it within reason.
It says all VOPs.
How can I find, like, how can I keep up to date with them?
Keep calling
I
that
don't,
number
a
right there.
driver's
That's what
license
you're
status
right to do.
hearing? That's not what, he's here for a VOP.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
16 at 11 a.m.
It's 11 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, my God.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Dwayne Weber.
All right, Mr. Weber, you're here in 2020 MM 349AW, and this is a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none in the case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're alleged to have violated your probation by committing the offense of violation of a domestic injunction on or about August 24th, 2020. And not complying with instructions given to you by the court by failing to have no contact with the victim in the case on July 17th, 2020. And then 2020 MM 2418W, it's a violation of probation, and those are the same violations as well. So I'll appoint the public defender in that case as well, and your bond will stay at none in that case. So they'll be able to file any motions to set bond for you. Do you want to enter a denial on those, Mr. Matos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll get you dates. These are Division 50 cases. Well, it's bad, I mean, the VOPs are on battery domestic violences.
Place with a phone.
And Judge
I don't have a
Shoemaker
phone.
signed them, and they say Division 50. I don't, her email said they should be 63? For who?
It'd be better if you reached out to me because they got me in some cell. There's no phone in there.
I'm pretty sure they ask, they just move you to, they see it, and then how you can assign them, they'll let you speak. But
Because, yeah, Judge Shoemaker signed it, they say Division 50 and their DV and their violations of DV injunction.
I think this case should be set in Division 63.
Okay, I'm just, I mean, I'm gonna, Judge
So this
Shoemaker
number's
signed the
from the
warrants and
Okay.
they say Division 50.
Do you know what the case number is?
If that needs to be changed, they can change it. So we'll enter a denial, give you some dates.
What's the phone
Division
thing?
50, VLP status hearing will be September 30th at 10 a.m., courtroom 7C.
That's the number?
Could you give me your name, they'll find you.
Okay, okay. So what's the September 30th?
Good? Yeah.
That's it? Thank you, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
William Thomas.
Wait, no?
Mr. Thomas, you're here in 2020 MO 870. You're arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
Adjudication, credit time served, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Thomas, did you want to do that?
Yes, guilty.
Credit for time served, okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, did you understand everything on it?
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yes, yes,
Do you
yes, Your
understand
Honor.
all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, Your
Are
Honor.
you on probation anywhere?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a U.S. citizen.
I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days, 1 day? 2 days. 2 days, credit for time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Well, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You have a good day. Okay, now we've got Mr. Nguyen, and then we have the second case for
The felony. The felony, right? Mr. Glenn? Okay. Yes, the basic expense. Okay, cool.
For Mr. Vega Lanza, what was the first charge that we did address?
The first one was the ag assault with a weapon, Your Honor.
Okay, and so this is out of the same offense, it's just additional charges?
Yeah, they listed under separate case
Because I've read the
number.
affidavit,
For
so
some
I was just reading it, I'm like, I've read this before, so, okay. Let me. What do you want me to do first? Mr. Vega?
That's fine.
Okay, I'll call the interpreter back. Hello?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Carlos Morales, State Certified Spanish Court Interpreter. The interpreter has been sworn in already today.
Thank you, Mr. Morales. We had a second case for an individual from this morning that we already handled, but we missed the second case, so.
No problem.
And you're gonna remote into BRC1 where I am as well.
Okay, thank you.
Just let me know when he can hear you.
Okay, we're connected, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And sir, tell me your name again.
No lo escucho muy bien, lo escucho bien bajito. Alexander Vega Alonso.
Alexander Vega Ganso?
All right.
Ganso.
Mr. Vega Lanzo, I already saw you this morning on another case, but there is a second case for you. And it's 2020 CF 10282AO. In that case, you were arrested for burglary of an occupied conveyance, grand theft.
Usted fue arrestado por...
No lo escucho.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Burglary.
Burglary of an occupied conveyance, grand theft of a controlled substance, criminal mischief as a subsequent offender, and then petty theft. And I do find probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. No contact, directly or indirectly, with any victim or any witness in the case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. The bonds will stay at $3,500, $150, $150, and $100. All right, thank you.
Muy bien, la cosa es...
I think that is it, Mr. Morales. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, the interpreter is still interpreting for the defendant.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
The headphones are back on now.
Esto es local, Guma. Esto es local.
So this is a different charge?
Yes, sir. It's out of the same incident, but different offenses.
And what am I supposed to do with this paper?
You're supposed to call the public defender's office. If you cannot make your bond, they will be able to file a motion to modify the bond for you.
Ella me dice, hace rato me dijo que no tenía fianza.
But a while ago, she told me, she said that I did not have a bond.
I don't know if I revoke.
She revoked the bond and set it at 9.
Sorry?
You revoked his bond and set it at 9.
On the out on bond. Yeah, on your out on bond, I revoked your bond, but you have bonds in these cases. So you'll have to speak with the public defender about any legal advice that you need.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Mr. Nguyen. We're gonna call the interpreter. In the meantime, while we're getting that done, for the 33 days, 2020 CF 6969AO, Jonathan Crittenden Massey. I see an information was filed, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, it says it was sent to the clerk's office yesterday, Your Honor.
Yeah, it was filed on 8/26. That will be denied. (2020) CF 8873 Daryl Frazier,
No info notice was filed yesterday.
right? That will be granted. (2020) CF 7781 Archimede Divinard.
I believe information was filed yesterday, Your Honor.
Do you have there was nothing in Odyssey, so do you have a filing ID number?
Let me just double check. I do have a file ID number. Let me just double check its information. The file ID number is 112411939. Let me just double check and make sure it was information. No, it was actually a notice of non-filing that was filed yesterday, Your Honor. They didn't notate it on mine.
All right, that will be granted. And they're on the line.
Yes.
Good morning. Is this the Vietnamese interpreter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then have you been sworn in today?
Not yet.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to translate from English to Vietnamese and Vietnamese to English to the best of your ability?
The interpreter affirms.
Okay, and then can you state your name and your ID number, please?
The name is Vin, ID number 217294.
Okay, and then I have a gentleman before me. If you could just introduce yourself so that I know that he is understanding you.
Alo, chào ông, tôi là thông viên viên. Ông có nghe và hiểu rõ không?
Dạ.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Chào ông, ông vui lòng cho biết tên của ông.
Hòa.
Hòa.
Is your last name Nguyen?
Dạ. Yes.
Tên họ của ông là Nguyễn phải không?
Dạ.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you're here in case number 2020 CF 10284 AO.
Cái hồ sơ của ông á là 2020 CF 10284 AO.
You were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines over 14 grams.
Ông buôn chất đá, chất methamphetamine đá trên 14 gram.
I do find probable cause and I will appoint the public defender.
Và tôi thấy có khả thi, lý do khả thi và tôi sẽ cho ông một người luật sư bào chữa.
No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Không được uống rượu bia hay là thuốc mà không có toa của bác sĩ.
No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition.
Không có vũ khí hay là súng đạn.
You may not drive without a valid driver's license.
Và không được lái xe nếu mà không có bằng lái xe.
I am staying the bond at $50,000.
Tôi sẽ cho cái tiền thế chân tại ngoại 50.000 đô.
You also have 2020 CT 5298.
I'm sorry, what is this number, ma'am?
It's a case number 2020 CT 5298.
Và cái hồ sơ của ông là số hồ sơ của ông là 2020 CT 5298.
You were arrested for driving under the influence.
Và ông bị bắt do lái xe say xỉn.
I find probable cause and I'll appoint the public defender.
Và tôi có thấy có cái lý do khả thi và tôi sẽ cho ông một người luật sư.
You may not possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription.
Không được uống rượu bia hay là dùng ma túy nếu mà không có toa bác sĩ.
You may not drive without a valid driver's license.
Và không được lái xe nếu mà không có bằng lái xe có hiệu lực.
Your bond is stayed at $500.
Và cái tiền thế chân tại ngoại là $500.
You're also out on release or bond for a DUI as well.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Your Honor?
He's out on bond for a DUI as well.
Và ông được thả ra với tiền thế chân do cái tội lái xe say xỉn.
I am revoking the bond and setting the bond at none.
Tôi sẽ bỏ cái tiền thế chân đó, không có trả tiền thế chân cho cái đó.
You're represented by attorney Carlos Pius in that case. You need to contact him to file a bond motion for you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what does that mean, file bond motion?
A bond motion is a motion to get him a monetary bond. So a motion would have to be filed with the trial court in that case by the attorney that is representing him in that case.
What's his name again? Carlos?
Pius, P-A-Y-A-S.
Ok, thì luật sư của ông đại diện cho cái hồ sơ này tên là Carlos Pius. Và ông phải yêu cầu luật sư yêu cầu cái thế chân tại ngoại này.
All right, sir? Do you understand?
Dạ, anh hỏi em bây giờ thí dụ về cái tiền mà bây giờ nó nói là nó cho bail ra tại ngoài là sao, bao nhiêu tiền hay sao cho em được ra rồi em đi luật sư hay là sao? Hay là cái gì? Anh ơi.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Intermit some clarification. Xin lỗi, ông nói lại một lần nữa.
Ok, anh hỏi nó bây giờ nó nói là em bị cái vụ mà buôn này nọ đó. Ok, rồi nó nói là bây giờ nó không có cho nó bỏ cái tiền mà 500 tiền uống rượu uống bia rồi em tại ngoại em được ra ngoài hay là như thế nào, em đi lo luật sư hay như thế nào? Anh hỏi giùm em coi.
So I can pay the bond $500 and be released?
No, you have a $50,000 bond and a $500 bond, and I've revoked the bond in your other case, which you do not have a bond in.
Ok anh ơi, bây giờ em nói với anh nè, anh nói với bà quan tờ đó là cái mà bà nói là 14 gram đó, cái đó là cái sugar, the sugar rock là em bỏ trong miệng em á anh. Ok, cái đó là ở China Tàu nó bán cho cái nhà hàng, rồi nó nấu ba cái xương bò đó, rồi em lấy trong nhà hàng ra em bỏ em ăn, cái đó gọi là đường phèn đó ở Việt Nam đó, chứ không phải là xì ke ma tí hay gì đâu anh, kêu nó chết lại giùm cho em. Ok, với cái thuốc đau bao tử.
Mr. Interpreter, if you could advise him that he should not speak about anything related to the facts of the case. I don't know what he's saying, obviously, but...
Hello anh ơi.
Ok, bây giờ thì tôi hoàn toàn nói là ông không cần phải nói bất cứ điều gì về cái vụ này. Dạ, ông không ở đây bây giờ không phải thời gian để em nói cái điều đó.
Dạ, anh nói giúp giùm em là cái đó không phải là xì ke ma tí mà cái đó là đường, nhờ nó chết lại cho em giùm em. Cái tội của em không phải là cái đó là xì ke đâu, cái đó là đường anh.
Okay, ma'am. So just want to clarify what they found was not meth. It was just sugar.
I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case. If you have a defense, then that's something that you can speak with your attorney about.
Ok, thì tôi không muốn ông nói chuyện về cái này. Ông có luật sư, ông sẽ nói chuyện với luật sư về cái này.
All right, thank you, sir.
Cảm ơn ông.
All right, thank you, Mr. Interpreter. I appreciate your help.
Would that be all with interpreter, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for using our services. Bye-bye.
All right, and then you said the status hearings on the add-on are not coming?
Correct, Your Honor.
They're both medical?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so, Mr. Matos, do you want to waive their appearances?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we've got George Fort, status hearing out of Alachua. Calls for the record, please.
Stephen Miller for the state.
Pedro Matos with the public defender.
Good afternoon, tell me your name, please.
Dayron Aguilera.
All right, Mr. Aguilera, you're here in 2020 MM 6226AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I find probable cause. And Mr. Miller, did you have an offer? I'm not sure if you would.
So technically, I believe this could be upfiled to petty theft 2 prior if it goes downtown. He does have a 2019 theft conviction, and he also pled to a theft in
So
here.
pursuant to our administrative order, if you
I know.
think that the state is going to file it as is it a petty theft 1 prior or a petty theft 2 prior, I cannot plead the case out. So that's why I'm asking if you have an offer. If
Okay, well,
not, then I wouldn't be able to plead out based on that, okay?
You would or would not?
I would not pursuant to the administrative order in the circuit.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah, so if it's an upgradable offense, and your office may want that opportunity to look at that in any adjudications previously, then you would let me know that, and I would not be able to resolve the case today.
Right, yeah, it'll be upgraded. He just pled to another one on July
Okay,
27th.
So I won't do anything with it today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Aguilera, you are not to return back to any Walmart, okay? No Walmarts at all. You're not to go to any Walmart.
All right.
No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case, and abide by the trespass warning.
Okay.
Your bond is stayed at $500. I am revoking your release. You're out on release in 2020 CF 5086AO for 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and I believe the state did file an information in that case. So I'm gonna, I think you do have the public defender.
Yes.
Okay, so the public defender will have to file any appropriate bond motions for you in that case.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, tell me your name, please.
Howard Brown.
Please keep the mask on, thank you. Tell me your name.
Howard Brown.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you're here in 2020 MM 6234AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
The adjudication, credit time served, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Brown, did you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you can't go back to Lake Eola. If you go back, probably gonna get arrested again, okay?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, is it 1 or 2?
2 days.
2 days with credit for time served. And I'll order that you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. Again, don't go back there, okay? And if you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, sir.
Juan Burgos, Gerato, 1991. Okay, serious?
Mr. Burgos?
Yeah.
Okay. You're here in 2020 MM 6230AO. You're arrested for trespass in a dwelling after warning. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. I don't believe the state would have an offer. It's a victim case, so.
Right, Your Honor.
Okay. So, you're not to return back to 5334 Honda Way. No contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. Abide by the trespass warning. And I am staying the bond at the $500. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Jonathan Harris.
All right, Mr. Harris, you're here in 2020 MM 6227AO. It's a retail petty theft, and I do find probable cause. Mr. Miller, I don't know if you'll have an offer today.
Adjudication, Your Honor, 5 days. He does have 2 prior thefts that he received withholds
Well,
previously.
that's up to you whether or not you want to make an offer.
Okay.
So. if-
Adjudication, Your Honor, 5 days.
5 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so and he has credit for 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, Mr. Harris, it's a 5-day offer with credit for 2 days' time served. And it's a theft, so that's an enhanceable offense. So if you didn't resolve it today, it's likely the state could upgrade it to a felony. It looks like you have prior theft convictions, so
No,
you
Your Honor,
have.
his priors are withholds.
Oh, his priors are withholds.
Yeah, that's what I was-
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay.
So I will have 3 days.
I think that would get you out Saturday? I
Okay,
think that
yes,
would
ma'am.
get you out on Saturday. I can't promise, but I think.
Hey, that's always
Okay,
a
so, but
chance.
what I did explain to you is that, so now this will be a conviction.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you get another one, they could file that as a misdemeanor of the first degree,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
And then if you have another one, then that becomes a felony,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? You got me?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days with credit for 2 days' time served. And don't return back to the Walmart at 3101 West Princeton Street.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you were trespassed, but if you were, then abide by the trespass, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll order you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. I'm not taking any action on your other case, so make sure you don't miss court. You've got court date coming up in October.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so keep in touch with the public defender. Don't miss court.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you'd like to appeal the judgment, sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank
good
you so
luck.
much.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Ronnie Kennedy.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, you're here in 2020 MM 6231AO. It's a trespass on property after warning. And I do find probable cause. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
Adjudication, 10 days, court costs.
Okay, and he has credit for 2 days. And is that based on just his history or the
He
fact?
just pled on August 2nd to the same exact location for a trespass, received 2 days credit time served.
Okay, so Mr. Kennedy, you don't have to accept the offer and I would impose the bond, but if you wanted to accept the offer, that's the offer today.
What is the offer?
10 days with credit for 2 days time served.
Yes, I mean, does that mean I go home?
When you've served your sentence,
Oh, the 10 days.
well, you've had credit for 2 days time served. So I think that I can't tell you what day you would get out, but you'd probably be here another week.
Man, it was a trick. The owner told me that I could sit
Okay,
there. If you
Miss-
read the paper,
Okay, Mr. Kennedy, I did read the paper, and I'm not saying you're guilty. I'm saying there's probable cause for the arrest. If you have a defense and you don't want to plea, then you don't have to.
10 days, man.
Where are you living? Do you
I
have
stay-
a place to go?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, where are you getting your mail?
I'm not getting any mail. I stay outside, but I have a place to go.
Right, but what I'm saying is if I release you, I need to know what an address that you can get your mail at, okay?
I can get an address. I can get it from my aunt. I just don't know the number there. I can get an address for you.
Okay. I need to make sure that the public defender knows where you're located, okay?
Okay, and I believe it's, wait a second. I think it's 1017 OBT. I believe so, yes.
Is that a house or?
Yes, it's a house.
Okay, all right. So it's Orange Blossom Trail, Orlando, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, if that's not the address, I'm gonna order anyway that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release,
Okay.
okay? And you gotta show up to court. They're gonna give you a court date when you get released. If you don't show up to court, you're gonna get a warrant. You'll just be back here, okay?
Okay, so
So I'm
then,
gonna release you. You're not to go back to that
Yes.
location.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Where
Abide
now?
by- Listen. You're not to go back to the Palms Mobile Home Park at 1610 South Orange Blossom Trail. Abide by the trespass warning, okay? No
Okay.
contact with any victims or witnesses. Don't miss court, okay?
okay, what is the court date?
Would you give
Okay.
it an RR?
Within 24 hours to get in touch with the public defender. No contact, no return, abide by the trespass. Good afternoon.
It's mental health.
Okay, mental health. I'm gonna reset her for tomorrow. All right.
Call, refused.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna find her refusal to be a waiver. Appoint the public defender, and Mr. Matos, do you wanna waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, she is arrested for trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance as a refusal to leave. I find probable cause. No return back to the racetrack at 700 South Orange Blossom Trail. No contact with victims or witnesses, and abide by the trespass. I'm gonna set the bond at $250. All right, tell me your name.
James Sprague.
Mr. Sprague, you're here in 2020 MM 6219AO. It's a trespass on property after warning. I find probable cause. Mr. Miller, did you have an offer?
Good time served, Your Honor.
All right, and I think that's 2 days. Did you want to do that, Mr. Sprague? You can't go back to the Wawa on Summeron.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I find a factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days. Don't go back to that Wawa 1201 South Summeron Boulevard. And I'll order you pay your court costs by August 27th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment, sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck. All right, tell me your name, please.
Derek Toms.
All right, Mr. Toms, you're here in 2020 MM 6225AO. It's a battery. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no return back to 327 South Orange Blossom Trail, the 7-Eleven. And your bond will be stayed at the $500. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Chandrika Ward.
Ms. Ward, you're here in 2020 MM 6233 AO. You're arrested for petty theft of $100 or more. I do find probable cause. I don't know if the state will have an offer for you today.
No, Your Honor, this is,
So you're not to return back to any Walmart. No going to a Walmart. No contact with any victims or witnesses. Abide by the trespass warning. That bond is $500. I am revoking the release 2020 MM 2989AO, and I don't know if she has the public defender in that case. No. Okay, I'll appoint the public defender, and they'll be able to file any motions to set bond for you, Ms. Ward.
I'm sorry?
I said I've appointed the public defender on the other case that you had. You were out on release for a theft. I've revoked that bond and set it at none, and the public defender can file the motions to set bond for you.
Okay. So you gave me a bond?
You have a bond on the new case. You do not have a bond on the other case.
Okay, so what's...
Mr. Matos, do you want to explain to your
understand.
client what's happening?
Yeah, sure. She got her case,
Right.
She gave you bond on this case, but you revoked one of the, I mean, we did correct, you know, send them a note anyways. We correct the, and then draft the bond motion. I'm send them an email, asking for bond motion for you. When that bond motion comes around, they'll give you a different bond, you'll be able to bond out.
So I can't bond out today?
You can bond out in this case,
That's what I want to do?
but it needs to be held in the other case.
Can't you guys can't waive it? Because I have my kids. They home with a friend. They're home with a friend right now, and I was expecting to get out today.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
this
a
is
Tim-
what
he's
happens
10 month
when you're
old. He's
out on
10 month-
release
he's
for
10 month
theft,
old.
and
He's
then
10 month old, and
You're
he-
alleged to have committed another theft, ma'am.
I know, ma'am.
So you'll have to have the attorney file a bond motion for you.
We'll call there, I'll be able to, I'll send an email.
How am I supposed to call them?
All right, please tell me your name.
Kurt Edward Altarizio.
All right, Mr. Altarizio, you're here in 2020 CF 4910AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for burglary of a structure, burglary, and 2 counts of burglary of a conveyance, grand theft, and criminal mischief. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. No contact with any victims or witnesses, no return back to 5104 Forsyth Commerce Road. And those bonds will, I'm gonna say the bond at 3,500. Count 2, I'll reduce to 150. Count 3, 150. Count 4, 150. Count 5, 150. And then you've also got 2020 CF 4911AO. It's a burglary of a conveyance and a criminal mischief, and that's pursuant to a warrant. And I'll appoint the public defender. Again, no contact with victims or witnesses, no return to 5113 Forsyth Road or Commerce Road, and no, yeah, so, and I think I said no contact with any victims or witnesses. Okay. And that bond will stay at 3,500. Count 2, I'll reduce to 100.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I'm from DOC.
I
so
do
mean,
see that,
Yeah, I
yes.
don't know, I know I have to take care of it. I don't know what is this about. Is there a way I can get R&R and be released back to DOC? Because it's going to take 5-6
Well,
months.
your sentence is ending on August 31st.
No, it's not. My sentence ends October 25th of 2022.
Okay, well, you'll have to get with the public defender. I'm showing that your sentence is to be ending on August 31st, 2020. They would never have brought you here, sir, if that was the case, if you were in
Okay,
there
I understand. I
until
understand the strategy. I made down 60 months. I don't know where these charges come from. I mean,
Okay, well,
I don't understand
I-
it. Was it
They were alleged to have occurred back in April of 2019.
I was in your jail here in April. I was in here.
Okay, well, if you have a
I understand,
defense,
okay.
then I'm not going to argue the facts with you.
Yes,
or
ma'am.
what's
Yes, ma'am.
contained in the warrant, so, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Joseph Michael Armstrong.
All right, Mr. Armstrong, you're here in 2020 CF 1031680. You're arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle and resisting an officer without violence. If you find probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the public defender, no contact with any witnesses in the case, and your bond will stay at $1,100. I think that you have a hold for Seminole. I don't know what it's for, but you do, in case you weren't aware, you do have a hold for Seminole County, okay?
We do. And how does that transport work?
You would have to call the public defender. I can't give you any legal advice. I don't know what the hold is for, so I don't know if they're holding you because you're on probation.
Yeah.
Right, so nobody's transporting anybody right now, so I don't know if they're just, can somebody tell me if it's just a 5-day hold or if there's some other hold?
He has a 5-day hold, but he also has that VOP Seminole County hold.
Okay, so you have a VOP out of Seminole County hold, meaning they filed the violation of probation?
They haven't yet.
They haven't?
No.
So the 5 days to make sure that they come
Yeah, they
and
have 5 days.
contact. And if
So
they
it'll
don't
be a
contact
5-day
that,
hold, and then if he bonds out and they don't file anything, then he will get out.
Then we'll contact Seminole to see what they want us to do first.
Okay. I can't give you legal advice. I don't want to give you the wrong information.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, ask corrections, okay? Or call the public defender's office. They'll be able to explain it to you a little bit better, okay?
all right, thank you.
I just don't want to tell you the wrong thing. All right, please tell me your name.
Nathaniel David Barr.
All right, Mr. Barr, you're here in 2020 CF 1031480. You're arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle and no valid driver's license. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No contact with victims or witnesses. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. That bond will stay at $1,100.
I had a question.
I'm sorry, I would be very careful what you say, Mr. Barr. If everything you say is being recorded. If you want me to know something, tell Mr. Matos. That's what he's here for. All right, thank you, sir. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Julian Angelo Bergerson.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 1032580. You're arrested for carrying a concealed firearm. You do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. No contact with any witnesses or co-defendants, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. I'm staying the bond at the $2,500. I'm revoking, but I'm going to give you a bond in 2020 CF 955080. I am going to revoke and set that bond at $3,500. Do you have the PD in that one? I'm going to appoint the PD for you, so you have an attorney in that case too, okay? Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Lorelli Cardona.
Ms. Cardona, you're here in 2020 CF 1032480. You were arrested for carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia. If you find probable cause, I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no contact with any witnesses or any co-defendant. You do qualify for pretrial release. I am going to place you in pretrial release. Don't get arrested, don't violate, make sure you comply, or you can be held at no bond, okay?
Okay.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Michael Chisholm.
Mr. Chisholm, you're here in 2020 CF 10294AO. You're arrested for petty theft as a third subsequent offender. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return to the Dollar General at 57 Michael Gladden. No contact with victims or witnesses. And that bond will stay at $1,000. I am revoking your release in 2020 CF 601780. It looks like you do have the public defender in that case. They're gonna have to file a motion to set bond for you, so. All right, please tell me your name.
Lazarus Foray, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Foray, you're here in 2020 CF 10331. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated stalking after an injunction. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you with your case. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. If you have any weapons or any firearms, you're to surrender them within 6 hours of release from the Orange County Jail, or they already should have been surrendered pursuant to any injunction, okay? So you're to abide by the injunction in 2020 DR 008839-0. You're also not to use any social media whatsoever. Your bond is set at $10,000. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Anthony Galloway.
All right, Mr. Galloway, you're here in two cases, 2020 CF 9962AO. It's a grand theft third degree pursuant to a warrant. I'll appoint the public defender. And then 2020 CF 9965AO. It's also a grand theft third degree pursuant to a warrant, and I'll appoint the public defender. So in both cases, you're not to return back to any Lowe's or any Famous Footwear. No contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant. The bonds will stay at $2,500. All right, tell me your name.
Rodolfo Garcia Jr.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 10648, and you failed to appear for a plea hearing on August 13th, 2020. The judge did set your bond at none in the case. My guess is you have the public defender in that case.
Well, actually, ma'am,
Private attorney? Okay.
I had a private attorney, but I didn't even know about the court date because I've never missed a court date, so I didn't even know about it until I found out when I went to go register at Orange County. I went to go register there, and that's when they arrested me, and I didn't even know why.
Okay, well, you've got 2019 CF 10363AO, and that's also failure to appear for the same day for a plea hearing. Who's your attorney?
It was Billy Unamsky, but the lawyer name was Leroy.
Leroy Costner?
Yes, ma'am. They misspelled my name. Yeah, they misspelled it. I've been trying to get them to fix it, and they won't.
Okay, so, Mr. Garcia, I can't change the capias, so it looks like, were you in court on July 7th?
Yes, ma'am. Because my attorney had showed up to court for that day.
And then your attorney was indicated that they were gonna set a plea?
Yeah, I was waiting for the court date, but I never got it. And I called him and asked him, and whenever I did that, he had put a motion to not be my attorney no more, which I don't know why either.
Well, that
And
was after the failure to appear.
yeah, I found that out.
Because he probably couldn't get in contact with you, and that's usually what attorneys do when they're not able to contact their client.
Oh,
So
see,
I don't know what happened, but my guess is that he tried to contact you, or in the way that he would have been able to, maybe, I don't know, your address changed or your phone number changed, but you're gonna have to get in touch with him, because he'll have to file a motion for you, or he'll withdraw and somebody else will be appointed.
Well, is there a way that I can withdraw him now and just ask for a public
No,
defender?
that would have to be the trial division, okay?
The trial division?
So, you do have reporting requirements, but I would contact Mr. Costner. Do you have his phone number?
Not on me. It's in my wallet and
Well,
downstairs
let
in
me get it-
property.
Let me get it for you so that you can call him, okay?
Okay.
He did file the motion to withdraw, but it has not been granted, okay?
Okay.
So he's still your attorney.
Okay.
This is what he put in his motion. He said that you failed to cooperate, participate, or assist, or remain in contact with him.
Yeah, no, I've always.
I'm just telling you
Yes,
what's in the
ma'am.
motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue about it
No,
with
yes,
you.
ma'am.
He said that your last known address was 834 Piedmont Wakiwa Road in Apopka, and your last known telephone number ended in the 2343,
Mhm.
okay? And he was not able to get in touch with you. So that's what happened there.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give you their phone number. Do you have a
Yes,
pen
ma'am.
there?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so it's 407-228 3838, and it's Mr. Costner, okay?
Okay.
But that's the basis for why he was withdrawing, so he obviously couldn't get in touch with you, okay?
Okay. And so I'm still gonna remain with no bond?
You're gonna have to get them to file a motion, okay? There's plenty of attorneys at the Umansky Law Firm where he works, okay, that can file a bond motion for you, all right?
Okay.
All right.
All grant is medical, Your Honor.
Okay, and that was one of the DV cases that we had. And you said medical?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Mr. Matos, did you wish to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 2020 CF 8627AO. This is a Kepius. The state did file an information charging him with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It is domestic violence. And so I will need him before he's released to sign the no contact order. He's to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, maintain a separate residence. He's not to return to the scene based on the Kepius that was signed by the judge. And no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. His bond will be stayed at $5,000. Oh, this is his arraignment too. Okay, so we have an arraignment for him as well, Mr. Matos. The PD was previously appointed. It's a DV battery case, 2020 MM 732AW. Did you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Pre-trial conference will be October 5th at 2:30 PM, courtroom 7C.
That's DV, right?
It is.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Jaden Arkell Lamar Harris.
Okay, Mr. Harris, you're here in 2020 CF 103222AO, you're arrested for possession of alprazolam and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Miss, I
I'm gonna stay the, hold on, I'm gonna stay the bond at 1,000 and 100. I'm not taking any action on your other case, so you'll be able to bond out. Now, I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case. If you have a defense, you'll need to give all of that information to the public defender. So if you do have a prescription,
Yes, ma'am.
then,
I just
and,
got shot.
okay, I read the affidavit, I understand, but based on what's in the affidavit, then there is probable cause.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you'll need to call them and they can file any motions or speak to the state attorney's office or provide them whatever prescription you had, okay?
Ma'am.
All right,
Thank you. Have a good day.
all right, you too. I didn't know they prescribed Xanax for being shot. Okay.
Jerry Carl is mental health.
Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender, 2020 CF 1030980. And Mr. Matos, did you want to waive?
Sure.
All right, it's a battery on a uniform or licensed security officer. There was a bond correction sheet. It's 20, it should be set at 2,500. And trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. No return back to the Greyhound bus station at 555 South or North John Young Parkway. No contact with any victims or witnesses. No weapons or firearms or ammunition, and abide by the trespass warning. The bond will be 2,500 as it was corrected, and 100.
Damien LeCount, bonded.
Okay. All right, tell me your name.
Lauren Litton.
All right, Miss Linton, you're here in 2020 CF 10315AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any witnesses, and no return back to the 7-Eleven at 1100 McCoy Road. Where are you living?
660 Broadmoor Drive.
Okay. And you get your mail there and everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. I'm going to order that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release to make sure that they know how to get in touch with you, okay? And make sure you don't get arrested, don't miss court or anything like that, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, tell me your name.
Junior Marcelant.
Okay, Mr. Marcelant, you're here in 2020 CF 8963AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for false imprisonment and battery. And I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any victim or any witness in the case. No possessing any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And you're not to return back to the racetrack gas station. I don't have a specific address here. It just says racetrack gas station, so don't go to any racetracks.
No, ma'am.
All right, so I am gonna stay the bond at the 5,000 and the 500. I am revoking the releases in 2019 CF 2838 AO and 2019 CT 3244 AO. Those bonds will be set at none at this time. It looks
Your
like you
Honor,
do
can I
have
talk-
attorneys in both of those cases, sir, so they're
Yes.
gonna have to file motions to
Your
set
Honor,
bond
can I
for
say
you.
something to you?
No, you're gonna hold on a second,
Okay,
and
sorry.
I'll let you talk,
Sorry,
but I'm not done talking.
sorry.
Okay. What do you want to tell me? I have to advise you that whatever you say is being recorded,
Yes, ma'am.
and anything that you say can be used against you. So anything that you want to say, you may want to tell your attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
not me.
Yes.
Okay? Mr. Matos? You're just going to let him talk?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just making sure his attorney knows his bonds have been revoked. You go, it's not right here. Throw a sign.
So what's, how could I get, on the phone with him?
That's correct.
All right, sir? All right, please tell me your name.
Brandon McConico.
All right, Mr. McConico, you're here in 2020 CF 10319AO. You're arrested for trafficking in MDMA, 10 grams, or I think 10 grams or more, with a weapon. And I do find probable cause for that offense, as well as possession of a firearm and the commission of a felony, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any witnesses, and no, did I say weapons? No weapons or firearms or ammunition. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And it looks like he is out on release on another case. I don't have an updated face sheet for him, but I do have an out on bond form.
It was closed. It was entered as an error. He's not currently out on bond.
I'm sorry?
It was entered in error. He's not currently out on bond.
So the case is closed?
I'll look that up, Your Honor.
Your Honor, our system has.
It's open.
If I may.
It's open?
Yeah.
Our system has 2020 CF 372 that's been filed.
Mhm.
It's under the name
Correct.
Terrence Brantley, AKA Brandon Mc.
Correct, and there was an order entered modifying his conditions of pretrial release by Judge Calderon on August 19th, 2020. So he's on pretrial release,
My apologies. They
or
closed.
he's
this-
out on bond, and those are just orders for pretrial release. So he has a bondsman. Yeah, so he is out on release. I am revoking 2020 CF 372AO. He's represented by Mr. LaFay. And so Mr. LaFay will have to file any appropriate motions to set bond for him in that case.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
that's not me. That's my brother. His name is Terrence. I'm Brandon. That's something different. They had a hold on me when I came in, and they took the hold off me. He used my name. I don't have nothing to do with that at all. His name is Terrence Bradley. I'm Brandon
I
McConico.
have Terrence Bradley.
Yeah, he used my, yes ma'am, he used my name.
So who it's saying, you're saying he's using your name?
Yes, ma'am. That's already been, that they had took my license from me, but they gave him back to me because he went to jail for a DUI under my name. And they finally got it straight.
Okay, well, I don't think they got it straight yet. So have you gone to FDLE?
You tell us that,
Have you
ma'am?
gone to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. When I was downstairs, she came, the lady was like, you had a hole, but then she took the hole off. She said, okay, she see what's going on. Terrence Bradley is not me. He just used my name. I'm Brandon McConicle. He's Terrence Bradley.
I believe I have a booking photo. If the defense can just
Okay,
go.
if you guys
go
tell me
look.
it's not him,
Go
then
ahead.
that's fine. I just am saying what I have in front of me.
I know.
And obviously, somebody's using somebody's identity. Okay, I trust y'all. I'm just saying what I have in front of me, and, okay. So I'm not gonna do anything with it. You might wanna get with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, okay? Because this is gonna continue to cause problems for you, and that's the last thing that you wanna happen, is to get confused with your brother.
I already got with them, and they already know what's going on. I had to take fingerprints and
Yeah,
all.
uh-huh.
I did all that.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, just
ma'am.
make sure that, because they can, yeah. Okay? So, you understand all of those other conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
No drugs, alcohol,
Yes,
without a
ma'am.
valid prescription, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition,
Yes,
no
ma'am.
return back to the scene, no contact with any witnesses. All right, so I am going to stay the bond at the 100,000, the 150, the 100, and the 100, and I'll take no action on this case because it's apparently not him. Okay? All right, sir. They really should remove the forms. Yeah. No, they gave me the form and everything, and it has it as an AKA. Right, but they need to let us know, you know, it's just, yeah.
That's fine.
It's sort of frustrating. All right, please tell me your name.
Cassandra Neely.
All right, Ms. Neely, you're here in 2020 CF 10071. You were arrested pursuant to a capias in which probable cause was previously found for criminal mischief with damage of $1,000 or more. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to return to 5826 Flory Lane. No contact with any victims or witnesses. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. It looks like the judge who signed the capias is RORing you. And I cannot take any action on the out on release due to the dates, so I'll take no action. Can we put in there, no action due to dates? All right, make sure you don't miss any court. Keep in touch with your attorneys, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, I was advised by the attorney not to come to that court date. And he gave me the court date is actually September the 30th and it's October the
I don't know what
5th.
you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I don't know, what court date?
All right, thank you. Oh, to the one you.
I'm saying don't miss any
this
court
date.
dates if you're supposed to be somewhere.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Norris Palmer III.
All right, Mr. Palmer, you're here in 2020 CF 9974AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for grand theft, 3rd degree. And I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. No return to any famous footwear or any Lowe's. No contact with any witnesses, victims, or co-defendants. Your bond will stay at $2,500. I'm not going to take any action on your other cases today.
Thank you.
But Mr. Palmer, now you've got 3 cases pending. If you come back, if it's me, it's not going to be a good day. If it's somebody else, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're probably not going to like it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Probably behavior, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna find behavior to be a waiver. If he can't behave himself to come to court, 2020 CF 1028380, I'll appoint the public defender. Possession of methamphetamine, there's probable cause. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will be stayed at 1,000. I'm revoking 2020 CF 557AO. I'm setting the bond at 5,200. No drugs or alcohol, if I didn't say that.
What was the count, 5,000 and what?
200?
Is this short?
Tell me your name, please.
Amberly Troxel.
All right, Ms. Troxel, you're here in 2020 CF 8309AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. Probable cause was previously found. The state filed an information charging you with petty theft, 2 prior theft convictions. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to Coles at 422 North Alafaya Trail. No contact with any victims or witnesses. That bond will stay at 2,500.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Be careful what you say, because everything that you say can be used against you. If I have a question, I would ask your attorney.
Is this a court date, Your Honor? It's not a federal court here, is it?
Not on a felony. You're not going to get a court date today.
No.
There's a warrant.
Yeah, you're up for a warrant, but it's not like a federal to appear. You can miss court rank.
It's a felony offense. All right, tell me your name.
Charles Washington.
Mr. Washington, you're here in 2020 CF 9950AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for grand theft 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, resisting an officer without violence, and no valid driver's license. I'm going to appoint the public defender. No contact with any victims or witnesses. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. And do not drive without a valid driver's license. Your bond will stay at 3,500. I'll reduce count 2 to 100 and count 3 to 100. Please tell me your name.
DJ Lamar White.
All right, Mr. White, you're here in 2020 CF 9318. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. This is domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. No alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Your bond is set at 3,500.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, tell me your name, please. Sir, please tell me your name.
State your name.
Laramie Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 CF 10334, you're arrested for attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, trespassing in a structure or conveyance, in possession of a concealed weapon or firearm by a convicted delinquent. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender, and this is I believe, a life felony. So,
We're gonna waive the entire hearing to have it downtown.
Okay.
We'll waive the presumption.
okay, so Mr. Williams, your attorney is gonna have your, contact your attorney downtown. They'll be able to file a motion to set bond for you on count 1, but you'll be held at no bond at this time. Count 2, I'll stay at the 500. Count 3 will remain at the 5,000. You're not to have any contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. I'm also revoking the release in 2020 CF 9731 AO, and I think the PD represents him in that case as well. No? Oh, okay, they have PD written on the bond form. Okay, we'll make sure. No, okay. These out on bond forms are just not right. So I'm gonna appoint the public defender for you, Mr. Williams, on the out on release case so that you have an attorney, okay? And they'll be able to file a motion to set bond for you in that one as well. All right, anything else?
I'm hoping that's all. Are we good?
I'm waiting for more cases to rain down on me.
Leave before they do.
Yeah, well, it's probably gonna rain as soon as we walk out. All right, we are done for the day.